Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome to the show where we interview the nation's leading real estate entrepreneurs. It's your host, Stephen Schmidt, and I'm back at it like a bad habit, and I got a special treat for you guys here in the studio today. I'm with Mike Ritrovato. Mike had a 22-year military career in the Marines, where he was something to do with amphibious vehicles, which I'm sure he'll clarify on that once I get through this intro. But glad you guys are joining us again. If it's your second, third, or 100th time, welcome back. If it's your first time, where you been at? You're about to find the show that you'll never stop listening to. We hope to aim to provide a ton of value to you guys. Mike's been in the real estate space for over 4 years now, focuses on veterans, as he himself is a veteran, and helping them get into their homes and live the lives of their dreams. So we're going to get right into it. But before we do, just remember, here at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, and real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their businesses so they can build the businesses they've always wanted in order to live the lives they've always dreamed of. That being said, Mike, welcome to the show today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Glad to have you on, man. You might want to clarify that one piece about the amphibious vehicle thing that I said. What exactly was the official title?
So it's an amphibious assault vehicle, an AAV, and I came into the Marine Corps in June of 2000, and the kind of acronym for it is an Amtrak. And
Okay.
when me coming in, I heard Amtrak. I'm like, I'm going to be on a train. I had no
Right.
clue what it was. So it's essentially an amphibious assault vehicle, to where it's like an armored personnel carrier that's a little over 26 tons, and it transported the infantry from point A to point B, essentially from ship to shore, and follow on missions throughout.
That's awesome, man. I missed the key word in there, assault. That was the
Yeah.
that was the key word I missed. Well, Mike, let me ask you this. So for our listeners' sake, I know we got to chat a little bit pre-show, but what made you decide you're getting out of the military 9 months prior to getting out? You decide, I'm going to get my real estate license, and that's what I'm going to do when I get back. So what made you decide to do that, and how'd you get to where you're at now today?
So I've kind of always been an entrepreneur throughout, my whole life. And roughly in about 2018, 2019, I started a business where I was doing food. And then, I had like my own food truck. I was on the base there. And
No
then
kidding.
COVID hit, and it pretty much killed everything. COVID. And then after that, I was like, well, you know what? Everyone always needs a place to live. And then I kind of noticed throughout my time in the Marine Corps that a lot of veterans didn't actually know how to utilize their VA home loan. So I kind of transitioned into helping active duty service members at the time.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Transition and be able to utilize their VA home loan actually while in the service. Because I mean, there are service members that have done what's called a PCS, a permanent change of station, where they'll move to a different unit every 3 years or so, a different state, and they'll purchase a home at every state. So throughout 20 years, they end up owning, 7 to 10 properties.
Yeah. So now, do you remember your first dealer client?
I do. Yeah.
What was that like?
It was confusing yet amazing at the same time. It was one of my Marines that, came to me and was like, hey, I'm looking to purchase a home. So I guided him through and walked him through the process and actually ended up buying a home that, like, unbeknownst to me, ended up being 5 minutes from where I lived. So it was just coincidence that, I helped that fellow service member purchase his first condo and he lived 5 minutes from me.
Yeah, no kidding. That's pretty special. Now,
Yeah.
obviously you have a long military career, so I think it's a natural transition of, hey, I'm getting out of the military. This is who I want to focus on. But is there any specific things that you really enjoy about being able to help other, active duty or veterans to be able to get into homes? What is it that made you decide to focus on that one niche other than the obvious, I was in the service for as long as you were?
It's so much easier to click with another fellow service member.
Sure.
So it just makes it a lot easier. Now, granted, I help just about anyone get into homes, but it definitely helps being with a fellow service member because you just have a certain lingo, a certain verbiage that you just connect with that service member, whether it be boot camp, whether it be job schooling or whatever it is, you have a certain language and you understand the shoes that they've walked in. And they also understand that you, being me, that we have both been through the same thing.
Yeah, there's something to be said about the familiarity of knowing you're dealing with somebody that has very different but also similar experiences, same but different, and you kind of know what to expect.
Exactly, yeah.
There's kind of a standard that's there that otherwise with just Jack down the street, that you don't necessarily have that level of connection with. Would you agree with that?
I do. Yeah, I actually had one real estate agent. I won't mention any names or company or anything, but the real estate agent, I was representing the buyer. And, of course, on the listing side, the agent had it in the MLS or multiple listing service that they were only going to accept conventional and FHA and cash loans. And I was like, well, what about VA loans? And there's a common misconception that a VA loan is harder to get approved when actually that's the opposite of the truth. A VA loan has less strict guidelines. And a lot of sellers, it's the job of the listing agent to educate that seller. And a lot of sellers think that, oh, well, one of the hard things to get is what's called a Section 1 clearance. So it's a wood destroying insect or termite inspection. And the way I alleviate that is I essentially go into the transaction and the deal with telling the listing agent, like, hey, don't even worry about the Section 1 clearance. I will cover it out of my commission. And that's one of the things that I do for service members is I pay for that termite clearance and that termite inspection out of my own commission.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yeah, that's one of the ways that you differentiate yourself, right?
Yeah.
Now, are there any, I know that's kind of one of them, but are there any other common misconceptions about, I want to make sure I phrase this question right. Are there any common misconceptions about somebody that's coming in to purchase with a VA loan other than just that sellers and buyers kind of have misconstrued in their head?
I would say another misconception would be that the service member or the loan won't process through, or the service member, they have bad credit. That's why they're using the VA loan, or they don't have money. That's typically what I hear when I'm representing the buyer from the listing side. Oh, well, we may not want to go through with this because they have bad credit, or we may not want to do this because they may not follow through with the loan. And I guarantee them, because on the lending side, what I do, the lender that I partner with, we actually get them pre-approved and fully underwritten prior to actually even going out shopping. So we can literally close as short as 10 days, and my lender can guarantee that. So that's definitely a reassurance that helps win deals and close transactions, is getting them pre-approved and fully underwritten prior to actually even submitting an offer.
Yeah. What are you seeing in the market right now that others might be missing?
Really the negotiation piece, being able to have a savvy real estate agent that can negotiate, depending on if the property has been on market for a while, and being able to analyze the whole deal from start to finish, and getting closing costs paid for. If I'm representing the buyer, getting closing costs paid for, getting what's called a 3-2-1 buy down, getting that paid for. It really just, there's a lot of different variables that it takes, and communicating with that listing agent. Really, communication is the best thing, and being able to negotiate on that buyer's half, because a lot of 90% of them, this is like their first home. So they don't know the transaction. So that's what I'm here for, is to be able to negotiate for them and get them the best deal possible.
Totally. Have you ever had a deal that's fell apart last minute?
Oh yeah, a lot of times things happen last minute where it's like, and I've learned from that. And a lot of times at the end, they're like verifying employment, or they're verifying income, or they're verifying rental history. They're doing this stuff last minute. And I transitioned to a different lender where everything is done up front. They verify employment, they verify income, they literally verify everything up front, to where we're going into the transaction already knowing it's what's been referred to me as a TBD, or to be determined, where they're literally just waiting on an address and the appraisal
Yeah.
to eliminate all of those issues and hiccups and things that can come up last minute that end up, sometimes breaking a deal. Probably the worst thing that I had, that we ended up overcoming it, because the family had some income, but during the transaction, during what's called escrow, while you're in escrow, you're not supposed to purchase anything or have anything that runs your credit. But
Right.
the service member went out and bought a car because he needed one. And I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? And then luckily the service member's dad or uncle or something, I can't remember, ended up paying off the car. So we were able to close that transaction. But if had it not been for that uncle or I forget if it was the uncle or the dad paying off that car, that we would have lost that transaction.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Right. Yeah, that's always the worst nightmare of a realtor is for somebody to come to them and be like, "Man, we're closing the house and I was so excited. I went and bought a new car."
Yeah.
It's
Or I
always the
already
worst
purchased the furniture. I measured it out and, I
Yeah.
only had to pay like 7,000 for all of the furniture in the house and I financed it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Right.
Now I have to go tell the lender that you just bought 7,000 in furniture and we have to cancel.
Right. What is what does growth look like for you in the next 12 to 18 months?
I would definitely like to assist more service members getting into homes. And we're actually planning a VA home buying seminar here in Burleson, Texas for next month in July. And then we're going to try and do one either once a quarter or once a month to get more service members in homes.
So what's like a tangible, that's kind of a potpourri, non-specific answer. I mean, obviously, like if I said, "Hey man, I got 500 service members I'm going to send you tomorrow," like that would fulfill that goal. But like what's like a real tangible goal that you're working towards in terms of your business growth? Like if you were to hit it, what would that goal be where you're like, we did all right this year?
I would say um, closing 50 transactions in a year.
Nice.
Because I mean, on average, I typically have about 20 in a year, which I mean, I've heard real estate agents, they're like, oh yeah, I easily do like 30 to 60 transactions a year. And I'm like, well, I don't know how you do it, but good on you.
What are the systems and processes you're going to put in place to scale to that?
So right now I have, and the systems with Compass are amazing. There's this thing on their platform called Compass One where you can engage and interact with your client on the dashboard. So that's like
Hmm.
super amazing. And then I also have a transactions manager that essentially manages the transaction from start to finish, essentially from opening escrow to closing escrow. He's there in the middle, getting documents, getting disclosures, getting signatures while I'm out actually face to face with the client, doing inspections or uh, doing market analyses with the next client. So I get them in the home, and then the transactions manager is the one facilitating the actual transaction, making sure that it's a smooth transactions and the clients know what's going on from start to finish.
Sure. Do you as far as like generating your leads, because obviously you're focused on a very specific niche within the realty side of things. So do you rely more on digital or word of mouth marketing? How do most people find you?
A little bit of both. Word of mouth definitely carries a lot more weight than digital because word of mouth, it's literally someone who you have worked with in the past that is referring you a client that is like, hey, Mike is solid. Like he knows what he's doing. And here you go. Here's his contact info. And then that person reaches out to you. Whereas, because they almost already know, like, and trust you because they're friends with that person that has referred you, and they almost feel like they already know you. Whereas with digital marketing, it's more of like this lovely face on, a billboard, which I actually have one right down the street. and I haven't gotten anything from it. So digital marketing and compared to word of mouth referrals definitely works a lot better. But we do get a lot of traction on, of course, the VA seminars where I've done like a little snippet video, and we're going to push that out with marketing and hopefully fill the room.
Yeah. What's something unconventional you've tried or done to get attention?
Um, I had never before done a billboard, so that I don't know if that's unconventional, but I tried it and it didn't work. But
How did
that's
you
really
track it?
what's that?
How do you track a billboard?
You can't.
Mm,
I mean, I guess I could have put a QR code, and your eyesight's always better in hindsight.
sure.
Hindsight's 2020. Had I thought about that before, I would have put a QR code up there. That way, because I just put my phone number up there. It's got like my photo and then a couple of different catchphrases and then my phone number. Had I thought, I would have put a QR code up there as well. That way, driving by, the passenger or whatever can scan the QR code, and I can then capture that information and, you know, be able to analyze how many people have scanned, how many people, uh, I don't know.
Sure. Um, what's your approach to building long-term relationships in the business?
Um, Long term would be not treating every transaction as just another transaction. It's not the transaction, it's the client, and making sure the client gets their needs met throughout the whole transaction. That there alone will ensure. And I always tell my clients, like, even whenever I turn over keys to them, I'm like, hey, this isn't over. This isn't done. This wasn't just a transaction. Because people, as first time homeowners, or even second, third time homeowners, they don't know like drainage or sprinkler systems or plumbing or roofing. Things come up as a homeowner. So I let them know, like, hey, I'm literally just a phone call away, an email away, a text away. And majority of the clients that I help get in homes are within 30, 45 minutes from me. So it's a quick drive. I tell them, I'm like, I will literally drive here and help you with whatever you need. I had a client that we closed last week, and they were like, "Yeah, we're not moving in until like August." I was like, "Oh, that's like 2 months." You guys, and they live 5 minutes from me. I'm like, if you want, I can drive by the house. I can, I'll mow the grass if you need. Like, I'll do whatever. And I think that's kind of what keeps that long-lasting relationship of instead of, "Hey, here's your key. See you later."
Yeah, totally. Coming from a military background, you obviously had to have spent some time with some really good leaders. Who is the best leader that you have ran into, whether military or not, that you've taken some principles from that you now instill into your own daily routines or into your business?
I would say the best one was whenever I was, and there may have been others prior to this, but the one that stuck out to me the most was one of the first sergeants that I worked with when I was a company master sergeant. He genuinely cared about the Marines under his charge. He was a true, um, there's kind of a term of leaders eat last. He is a true, leaders eat last type of Marine. He literally put everyone before him. And there was a company commander one time that told me like, hey, can you have this guy tone it down a little bit? I'm like, I'll ask him, but that's just how he is. He was all about the Marine Corps and just all about the Marines under his charge.
And so what did you take from him that you now have adopted in your own processes, building a team? I'm sure that'll come in time as well. What are some of those things that you're going to take and then implement yourself?
So I'm actually not really actively trying to build a team, but when and if I do get agents that are under me, I'll kind of mentor them and treat them the same way, essentially mentoring them and letting them know, like, hey, I'm here for you for whatever you need. Letting them know that, like, hey, you come before me because whether it's a new agent, a seasoned agent, you can always learn from someone else.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Mike, we appreciate you coming on the show today. Where can people connect with you for more? Where can they learn more about you and what you're working on?
So the YouTube channel that I'm currently building is the Living in Burleson, Texas. That's the handle for it. And then you can pretty much search my name, Mike Ritrovato, on just about any platform, and you'll be able to find me.
There you go, folks. Go connect with him for more. Show him some love from the real estate pros and the investor fuel community. We appreciate Mike coming on, sharing some nuggets and talking about his business. And we'll see y'all in the next episode.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.